Hello, I'm Phil Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and in this episode, I have a challenge for you. Well, maybe it's not exactly a challenge. You might want to think of it as a reframing. And what it is it's based on a Jay Baer quote, which is, stop trying to be successful and start being useful. So what does this mean, right? I feel like a lot of us, myself included in the past, we were just so gung-ho about, finding success, whatever that may be. And for most of us, that can be fame and notoriety, perhaps money. Well, the irony is the more we kind of focus on that, the more we're not going to achieve that. And it's not to necessarily say focus on the process and the results will come, although that is a part of it. It's also really, the idea that once you stop being selfish, and think about yourself, then that's what's going to drive it, right? It's almost like if you're a company trying to make a product, it's that cliche thing like they tell you on Shark Tank and in every other business book, like go to solve a problem. If you can solve a problem for people, then that will make your product or your company really good and valuable, right? And the more you can do that, the better. And so, in my life, that was a huge reframing. Rather than focus on myself, it was like, okay, what can I offer people? And that not only gave me a greater sense of purpose, it brought a lot of meaning, and it deepened my connections with people. And that's why I truly enjoy doing this, meaning, doing episodes like this and the episodes that I do daily, because I am trying to be useful, and I have seen these episodes help people in their life and in their creative pursuits. And so that's amazing to me. And in return, it's also cool to me because it solidifies these lessons in my life, and I become better because of them, and in kind of forming these bonds, I get the benefit of learning from you as well. So it creates that cyclical dynamic that wouldn't be possible if I was just focused on me. If my goal was to, let's say, just gain subscribers left and right, well then, I wouldn't be thinking, okay, well, what's the value that I bring? And I think, it's a very simple thing, and I'm sure, perhaps you've heard many other people talk about this. As I said, it's a very common thing in business, but also in terms of social media and so forth. It's like, what value are you bringing to people? But the reason why it is such a heavily talked about topic is because people forget that. And there's an argument to be made, like, if we can't state the complex things very plainly, then we're never going to get to the next level. And so sometimes you have to really define those things. And so I challenge you now to really consider in your life the things that you're doing, and to stop trying to be successful at them, and instead start trying to be useful with them. Okay? That is the challenge. That is the reframing in your mind that I would like to see happen. And I'm very curious to see what will happen once you allow that in your life. If you have any questions, by all means, write them down below. But also, I would be curious to know, just your process, right? How are you going to reframe this? And, and then later on, I would love to know, how it's working out for you. I'm really amazed. For myself, once I started being useful, a lot of really good stuff came my way. People were calling me for coaching and various gigs and so forth. And now I have return clients, and, the clients that I have, they recommend me for stuff as well. And it's really been cool. And so, it gives me the ability to work on amazing stuff and to utilize my skills for the benefit of someone else, right? So it works in that way. It's really cool. And it doesn't mean, one thing that I don't want you to take away is that this is not like give your skill set away for free. No, everything that I've said can work to bring you money, and so forth. But it really is like what value are. The more valuable you are to other people by being useful, the more value you can bring for yourself. So that's a really cool notion. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. As I said, if you have questions or comments, write them down below or hit me up on social media at Svitek. If you think this episode might benefit somebody else in your life, by all means, please share it with them. I certainly would appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and would like to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you if you just did, and thank you if you already were. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you next time.